All right, let's go. Let's go. I ain't got that much time. What's up, everybody? B1 to the FBA fam. So, you know what's hot right now? Everybody's talking about the J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar situation. Everybody got a lot of strong feelings about this. And I ain't gonna lie. I'm seeing a lot of weak energy behind this shit right here. It's not just that it's weak energy, right? And I'm going to get to some other things, and I'm going to tell you why I disagree with a lot of people. Why I think it's some bitch ass energy involved in this, and why I think that a J. Cole K. Dot battle rap, not street beef, because it was never going to be that. Why I think that it would have been a good thing for hip hop. Let me make sure I'm live though, real quick. Hold up. Let me make sure. Yep, we good. We good. All right, so make sure the volume's good. Check. All right, so yep. Yeah, so I seen the first. Let me start off by saying this because I think J. Cole's one of the dopest rappers out right now. He's a beast. He spazzed out on first person shooter with Drake. Like he spazzed the fuck out so bad that he murked Drake on his own song. That's a fact. That is a whole fact. I like J. Cole because he doesn't do the gangster shit, and I like the gangster shit. I'm West Coast, but he keeps it true to he keeps it lyrical, thoughtful, with a degree of consciousness that I think the game needs, and so does K. Dot. So I like him because he's very skillful. He's lyrical, and it's not easy for rappers these days to really be skillful, tactical, and not be on the bullshit and still be able to get recognition. And part of that is like the K. Dots, the Kendrick Lamars, even the Drake, and I don't really fuck with Drake like that, but they had the blessing of being put on by people who are already made men in the game. So you can't really stop their shine. See, there's a lot of dope rappers, male and females, who are dope as fuck, but they don't got the plugs. And because the industry really just wants to push ratchetness, they still get the shine. And we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about the Sexy Red and the Sukihana effect, right? But here's the cap when it comes to the J. Cole and the apology and the energy shift and everybody acting like they're just on higher vibrations and, oh, J. Cole, he's just doing what his spirit and his energy is telling him to. And, oh, I respect you, King. Good luck. Listen, I understand for the females. I understand. Keep that weak shit over there. We don't even really need y'all really commenting on this because it's cap. This is a man's sport. We're talking about battle rap. I'm not talking about street beef. We can't compare this to no Biggie Smalls, Tupac. The Biggie Smalls and Tupac started on the streets, not in the booth. It started with an attempted murder of Tupac and robbing him. That's how that shit started. It didn't start with no bars in the booth. It started because niggas set up Tupac, tried to kill him or at least shot him up and robbed him. And even if Biggie didn't have anything to do with it, because I don't think Biggie was on that kind of time, he could have probably pointed Pac in the direction of who did it, and he didn't. And that's why Pac went savage like that. That was street shit. That was not the same thing as K. Dot and J. Cole. So let's not make those comparisons. This was never going to get into the streets. K. Dot's not one of them rappers, neither is Cole. I'm disappointed because for a few reasons. Because we need this right now. The energy of rap right now is a bunch of thought bot rappers. Like we literally just had a situation where Sexy Red, and I'm going to show you some clips, was kicked out of a high school because she came there smelling loud. Like, that's where rap is right now. You got mumble rappers and drill rappers admitting to crimes on their records and catching cases. So I think that a lyrical battle between K-Dot and J. Cole, even throw Drake in the mix, because Drake, he's a dope rapper. He don't write his lyrics. He ain't my flavor, but whatever. I think a lyrical battle like that would have highlighted the lyricism and the skills and the nature of battle rapping in the good old fashioned competition that we all grew up on. And I think that may have raised the vibration and the bar and expectations of hip hop. I'm seeing the big picture. I don't think it would have been spilled over into no beef. It wouldn't have. I think what it would have done is highlighted, hey, let's get back to the lyrics. Let's get back to the skills. Yeah, it's okay to spar. We're men. This is what men do. And it would have highlighted that. It might have inspired other rappers who are lyrical and conscious to feel like, hey, they got a chance in this game. And maybe they can get some traction, because that would be the new vibe. That would be the new spirit, the new energy that we're resurrecting in this hip hop. Instead of every rapper thinking, if they're not talking about shooting, or if these females aren't talking about how much D they're sucking and how their pee hole is red and their booty hole is brown. That's how women think they have to get on the game right now. Most of these rappers right now, they think they have to get on the game by selling dope, even if that's not what they really do. So I think that the lyrical battle, the swordsmanship, would have actually been good for hip hop. It would have actually brought back the essence, because the essence of hip hop was lyrical skills, originality, battle, consciousness, talking about real things. And I think we missed that. And here's the thing when it comes to this J. Cole situation, man. Let's keep it a buck. Because I'm not trying to hear all this. Everybody talking about how I respect what you did, man. It's just the energy wasn't right. And listen, man, let's keep it a buck. I fucks with J. Cole, but y'all wasn't having that energy. J. Cole's been dissing Kendrick Lamar for years. He's been throwing subliminals and sneak disses for years. So I would respect the apology if he was saying like, hey man, that's not how I get down. Whoop-de-whoop. But no, this nigga was saying he's the GOAT. He said he feels like he's Muhammad Ali. He's been throwing little sneak disses to K-Dot. He even did it on first person shooter with Drake. So you can't throw stones and then hide your hand. See, Cole, as much as I like Cole, he has a different type of style. What he likes to do, he has a passive aggressive style, right? And I think that's why a lot of the women are like feeling him as far as his apology, because he has a passive aggressive style. What he likes to do is do little subliminals and passive aggressive sneak diss. And he's been doing that for years. And I think what happened is K-Dot was just like, you know what? Forget the sneak dissing. I'm not with the sneak dissing. Let's just go ahead and let's just have this battle. You got an album coming out. I'm about to drop an album. Let's just have a battle. It's gonna help the sport. And we're gonna see who's really lyrical. He's like, he straight up said that. K-Dot straight up said that in the song. He's like, you know what? Forget all these subliminals. I'm gonna let you know who I'm talking to. That's a more manlier way of doing it. See, West Coast rappers don't really do the subliminals. Like West Coast rappers will let you know exactly who it is. Even if they don't say your name, they're going to make it clear as day who they're talking to. I know a lot of other coasts and other regions of hip hop, they like to do the subliminal sneaks so they can have that deniable plausibility. West Coast rappers don't really do that. Kendrick's from Compton. He's more of the, hey, yo, this is what it is. Let's just forget the passive aggression shit. So then J. Cole drops an album. He drops a little, he drops his little diss record, and it was pretty dope. See, Kendrick Lamar just gave him a jab. He put a verse. He just a verse on somebody else's shit. Just a little jab. J. Cole responds with a whole song. Then he turns around and might delete it later. So what he kind of did, and this is what I don't respect. This is what I don't respect about Cole's tactic, and what I don't respect about a lot of these Cole fans that are, trying to pretend they're taking the high road, because they weren't saying none of this when Cole was dissing them on all these tracks for all these different years. Now all of a sudden they're afraid of that clapback, and all of a sudden they're kumbaya with the shit. But what he essentially did was almost like a white girl tactic. And this sister on Facebook was kind of explaining it. And I guess J. Cole's mom's probably white, so it makes sense. So what he did is he made it to where he took the high road and gave him praise and stepped back. So now if Kendrick drops a diss, which he already has one chamber that was probably about to drop and probably is about to drop, Cole knew that. So he takes that, I apologize, man, that was whack. I shouldn't have did that. Now, if you want to hit me back, go ahead, man. Hit me on the chin. I'll take it. He's trying to take that high route. So now if Kendrick drops some heat back, now everybody's going to gaslight Kendrick Lamar, because a lot of people don't know about the sneak dissing that's been going on for years that K-Dot hasn't even been responding to, really. So that's kind of like one of those white girl tactics where you cause a ruckus, you throw stones, you hide your hand, then you try to play innocent in front of the people. That's why I don't really respect that. I'd respect it if he didn't have a record of dissing and telling everybody he's the GOAT and he's Muhammad Ali and then taking little jabs at people on the under. I would respect it. But like I said, this would have been good for hip hop. Why? It would have been good for hip hop because this is what hip hop is right now. Let me show you something. Here's where hip hop, they're trying to take hip hop. Here's where they're trying to take the rap industry is promoting so heavily. Right? Like rappers who have no talent. Like Sexyy Red does not have any talent. Let's be real. She is not a rapper. She is not an MC. Some of her beats might be decent, but all beats are good these days. But she's not touring, selling out tours because people just want to hear her because she really just throws down in the booth. That's not the case. Sexyy Red is an industry plant, if you ask me. She doesn't have any hot selling records. She didn't grind from mixtapes and really just do her thing to get to where she's at. And she's not even in a high place. She's garbage. But somehow she's in different video awards, music awards, because she's been put there as a plant. She's going to schools. What school is really booking her? No, that's agents and A&Rs and management that's calling and hooking these things up with these schools because they need to get her in front of the youth, because that's the only people that's really going to support her. And she needs that for longevity. She needs to get the youth. Her target is the youth. She calls herself Hoochie Mama and calls all the babies her Hoochie babies. She's literally going after the youth, and they've put her up to that. See, back in the days, you couldn't be a weak rapper. You couldn't have no talent and still be on Billboard or be on different award shows, kicking it with politicians and them playing your music. They're doing this on purpose. This is an orchestrated effort to legitimize these weak ass Sexyy Reds and Sukihanas. See, back in the days, they didn't do that because it was too expensive to make an album. It was too expensive to make music. I know I'm gonna sound like one of them old hating ass niggas. That's not the case. I'm just telling you the truth. See, when I grew up during the golden era of hip hop, it was too expensive to make an album for them to push weak rappers just as an agenda. In fact, they didn't even want rap to succeed. But I'm talking about a time before you can just download music on your phone, or you just had all these different Pro Tools and different things that you can do to make beats. You had to actually buy expensive equipment, rent studio time, have a rollout. Unless you were just doing the underground thing, then you still had to have the equipment, but then you could just pay for your own production of the actual CDs. But for actual industry to put out an album, it was so expensive, they didn't waste time. You had to have skills. These days, it's so cheap to do so. They can produce 1,000 whack rappers just to push an agenda. And that's exactly what they're doing with the Sexy Reds and the Sukihanas and even some of these mumble drill rappers. They're pushing agenda. They're putting that in front of our face. See, back in the days, I know what it sounds like, but just bear with me, y'all. Just understand what I'm saying. See, back in the days, there was a balance in hip hop. We always have had, some ratchet stuff, some shit that I was listening to some things that I shouldn't have been listening to at my age. I was listening to Eazy-E and 2 Live Crew when I was in elementary school, 6th grade. But the difference was this. There's 2 main differences that I want to point out. The first one is there was balance. So when I turned on Yo MTV Raps every Saturday, yes, I heard Too Short. Yes, I heard Eazy-E. Yes, I may have heard of an edited version of 2 Live Crew. But I also heard KRS-One. I also heard Public Enemy. I also heard Brand Nubians. I also heard Paris. I also heard Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince just for some, party fun music. It was a balance. It wasn't just like ratchet. It was a little bit of everything. It was some consciousness. It was some party stuff. It was some gangster shit. It was all in balance. That's one of the biggest differences. There's no balance today. Another big difference is if I wanted to hear that ratchet stuff with all the cuss words that I was too young to get, I didn't have the luxury of just grabbing my cell phone and accessing things that were inappropriate. I had to ride my bike to the record store where they sold records, CDs, and tapes. It sounds wild if you're a millennial. Yeah, you had to actually buy tangible products to play your music back in the day. So I couldn't just go to the record store and say, I want that album right there with all the cuss words in it, because they wouldn't sell it to me if I wasn't old enough. So for me to even hear that, I would have to hear it from my older brother and cousin. And I couldn't just listen to it openly because my dad would whoop my ass if he heard me listen to some of the shit. So at least we had to have enough respect for our elders that we're not playing this shit extra loud. We can't just be in public bumping it. It was kind of like we had to sneak. It was taboo. It wasn't just out in the open like that. There was appropriate time, appropriate place. There was some type of regulation to it. That's 2 of the biggest differences. Now it's accessible to children. Like I said, listen, I'm no prude. I'm not saying like, hey, you shouldn't, I get it. I'm just saying there's time and place for things. And a school is not the place for Sexy Red. A high school is not the place for a Sexy Red to be jumping on the scene to influence the youth. Like this is check this out. This is who's going to high schools. This is who they have going to high schools.
My lip gloss is something that nobody would have ever thought of. I got one called Nut, and it's the color of some nut. I got one called Gonorrhea. It's green like.
Look, she's telling you she has a lip gloss called Nut. She has a lip gloss called Gonorrhea. It's green like gonorrhea. This is who is going in front of the high school kids. And like I said, you think that they don't have access to this? You think those high schoolers didn't see her sex tape, which is one of the rituals and processes in which when they try to make a ratchet chick blow up, they do the sex tape thing. Kim Kardashian, the list goes on. You don't think they've seen these things? That's who's going to go in front of the school? Not a J. Cole, not a K. Dot, no. Not no conscious rapper, not somebody who's going to give them some good game. This is who they want to put in front of our youth. So yes, a K. Dot J. Cole battle rap would have been good for the culture because it would have overshadowed some of this. Because in comparison, if the J. Cole and K. Dot battle goes viral, which it would, all these other weak rappers would be almost look shameful trying to still hit the stage with some bullshit or drop streams of their garbage ass lyrics. It would have raised the bar. Here's the new bar. Here's the new expectation for what we call hip hop. But we have this.
Gonorrhea. I got one called yellow discharge, like how girls be having yellow discharge. Hole pink, booty hole brown, coochie juice. And coochie juice is clear with silver glitter. It's cute, like the cute, and it smells good. And it's so like, people gonna talk shit, but other people was like, you is a marketing genius because the sold so fast. And it smelled good too. I be thinking of all out the box. It's not even on purpose. It's just like my brain helped me think outside the box to do some crazy shit. I got a lip gloss brand, and the names for my lip gloss is something that nobody would have ever thought of. I got one called Nut.
Yeah, nobody would have ever thought to name lip gloss off of STDs. Yeah, you're right about that. Nobody would have thought to name a lip gloss gonorrhea. Nobody would have thought about that. You're right. But I'm saying these are the people they're putting in front of the kids, though. This. So this is what this is producing. Like I said, hey, look, man, to each his own, but there's a time and place. But my point is there is a deliberate effort to lower the vibrations and to steer this way. The reason I say that is because these are the only type of females who get any airplay. You don't see Ciroc at these award shows. You don't see somebody, there's Rhapsody. There's a lot of female rappers who can spit. You don't see Lauryn Hill anymore. All you see is the City Girls, the Sukihanas. All you see is this, and this is what it's producing. I don't even want to play this for too long.
What to do, everyday people, man? This your boy PJ. Today, Lit Big Dog are much more lit than I do, everyday people, man. This your boy.
All right, that's enough. That's enough of that. But that's what it's producing. It's producing an atmosphere where we have little kids trying to twerk. I could show you even worse, but I'm not even going to do that. So I'm saying is, I would rather have a battle between two dope rappers who are going to keep it in the booth and not in the streets. I would much rather see that lifting the vibration of hip hop than what is being. And I know the memes are funny and stuff, and people are whatever though. But I would rather have that all day than what we have now. We got drill rappers bragging about real murders that they've caught, and then people are surprised when they go to prison. You got chicks with lip glosses named after VDs going to schools, smelling like weed, and then cussing out the teachers for not letting them into school. Like, that's orchestrated, man. Because like I said, there's no real grassroots support. It's not like Sexy Red came up because she was grinding and hustling, doing mixtapes, and everybody loved her, and she just got a good local following, and then she broke into the industry. That's not how it happened. She was selected. She was selected for the purpose of denigrating and influencing the youth. Because if you can influence the youth to ratchetness, you're probably not going to have a youth that's going to uprise and fight against white supremacy. See, that's why they got the real hip hop out the game. I got a broadcast I did years ago called Hip Hop, Rap Game, and Counterintelligence. I did it on Block Talk Radio. I broke all this down. I used quotes from Tupac. You should check it out. See, that's what I'm saying. During the golden era of hip hop, see, we had these artists that was talking in political awareness, fighting against white supremacy, rising up above this shit. And we even had white boys bumping the shit. It had the impact of actually changing people's minds worldwide and having them behind us with our struggle for justice. That's why they got that shit out the game. That's why they did away with that shit. It was balance. It was influential. It was powerful. It was educational and entertainment. and you still could have a little bit of the ratchet shit. You just couldn't have it on front and center. Now what they've done is they took all of the righteous speakers and MCs, they took them out the game. Because a lot of these rappers that we grew up with, if you're my age, they still rap. KRS-One still drops albums every year. You just don't hear about them because they're not going to highlight them. There are female rappers that are dope, that are speaking high level, high frequency, high vibrational content that can out rap any of these city girls that you've ever seen. But they're not going to get the shine. They're only going to give shine to those who are going to be detrimental to our cause. Because if you can dumb down our youth, our next generation, you're not going to see people fighting against white supremacy. You're not going to see people fighting for reparations. You're not going to see people fighting for social justice. You're not going to see people that will politically organize and be pillars of the community. If you create a next generation of ratchets and so-called thugs, they're easier to control. Plus, you'll be able to monetize that with the prison system. So I don't want to hear none of that soft shit about how J. Cole did the right thing. No. You threw rocks and then you hid your hand. That's basically what happened. I'm not disrespecting Cole. I'm just saying that's what it was, though. Like you've been throwing jabs all these years, and then when Kendrick Lamar calls you out and says, "Forget the subliminals, let's just go heads up. Let's just go ahead and battle." All of a sudden, it doesn't fit right with a spirit. The energy, I couldn't sleep. I can't do it. I apologize. If you want to hit me back, go ahead. I'll take it on the chin. Now he wants to take the high road and play Becky. So now if Kendrick Lamar hits him back, everybody can gaslight Kendrick Lamar like, oh, why'd you do that? He was trying to piece it out and all that. No. Kendrick Lamar was like, look, man, you've been throwing these sneak disses for years. Matter of fact, check this out. Let me show you something. Where are we at? Before I get up out of here, let me show you something real quick. There you go. Check this out. I mean, these are just some lyrics that he dropped over the years, just letting them know like he's getting sick of this shit. Tiptoeing around my name, nigga, use a lane. And when I get at you, homie, don't try to tell me you was playing. And he's like, yo, you know what he's saying? He's saying these niggas have been sneak dissing him and shit. You know? So he got sick of it. So that's why I don't respect the J. Cole, even though I think he's a dope rapper. I don't respect the whole apology and, you know, he's trying to be the bigger man because he's been actually dissing this dude for a long time. You feel me? And a lot of people that's, you know, they're trying to make it seem like K-Dot is just tripping. Nah, man, K-Dot just said, like, look, man, instead of the subliminals, why don't we just have a straight up rap battle? It's good for the game. We both got albums coming out. Let's go ahead and spar a little bit. Forget all these little, you're gonna subliminal diss me, passive aggressive shit. Why don't we just go heads up? And then Cole was like, no, I don't feel right with my spirit, man. My energy, I can't sleep. It was whack. I'm sorry I did that. And, yuck. You know what I'm saying? And me being a hip hop, you know what I'm saying, connoisseur, I wanted the battle. I think it would have been good for the game because, like I said, once again, it would have been a good opportunity to overshadow the fuckery in the game like this right here.
It's cool. Put me. I came up here, got you. Trying to talk to the kids, getting the weather. They don't put me on me. Tell me I smell like weed. Watch this.
She's surprised that a high school wouldn't want her talking to the kids smelling like weed. That's what I'm saying. It's like Okay, I get it. That's what you do for a living. Whoop de whoop. It'd be different if it wasn't so out there and accessible to the youth. But then when you go and speak to the youth, you can't let them know, like, hey, this is just business. You can't go in there without smelling like weed. You can't go in there not dressed like a hoochie. Like, come on, man. Yeah, so a K. Kendrick, a K. J. Cole rap battle would have been a lot better than this because it would have outshined this. It would have been a solar eclipse to the fuckery in the rap game right now. It would have blocked that shit out and everyone would be marveling in God's true creation of hip hop. That's how I feel about it. It would have overshadowed shit like this.
Who gonna try to get married? Fuck that. Bitch, you're nobody.
Bitch, you like I'm finna sit with y'all.
They ain't come to see you, Otis. Bitch. You heard her screaming for me.
So everybody's saying that would have been bad energy for them to battle. No, why ain't you saying nothing about this? Just be real. I'm not a prude. But I'm saying even an Eazy-E, he was doing things for the youth. He didn't go to schools and talk to the youth the same way he talked on his albums. He understood there's a time and place. Because that's what real gangsters used to do. Real gangsters used to talk to the youth and tell them, nah, don't be like me. Nah, I know what I'm doing. I'm getting paid for doing this and that. Listen, though, right now I actually get paid for being a businessman. You don't have to do that. This is entertainment. They made the difference. They separated it and they made sure that, listen, most of hip hop was started in the beginning by cats who were in the streets. A lot of us didn't know that at the time because they didn't highlight that. They didn't tell us that part for the most part. They told us positive shit. They told us how to maneuver through this system. They didn't try to inspire us to do the bullshit.
Hiya.
They could
Bro, me fuck my head up.
They could have said we somebody called.
I ain't gonna hop down on that. Oh, smack that ball up.
So that's what I'm saying, man. I'm saying that I would definitely rather have had a rap beef between K. Dot and J. Cole to overshadow the fuckery that has been injected in the game. Because if it was organic, it would be different. If it was truly organic and this was what was wanted, it'd be different. But the game changed for y'all that are young, for my millennials out there. The game changed, I would say, around 96. Around the time Pac was died, that's when Pac was murdered. That's when the game changed. That's when it turned to shiny, shiny, bling, bling, and just oversaturated with the negative vibrations, with no balance, with the positive articulation of lyrical skills. That's when the game changed. And I remember when it changed because I remember when they started pushing a bunch of garbage ass hip hop on the radio and it was trash. And I remember I hated it. But at that time, everybody listened to the radio. So if I'm chilling with a female or I'm chilling somewhere, you know, they're listening to the radio. And over time, I noticed that the music that disgusted me and that I thought was so fucking whack, it became tolerable. See, that's what you have to understand about propaganda. I want y'all to understand something as I close this out about how propaganda works. See, people think because they're conscious that propaganda doesn't have an effect on them. That's not the case. The only way you can stop propaganda from having an effect on you is if you don't expose yourself to it. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. It doesn't matter how conscious you are. Propaganda works on your subconscious. It works on even the things that you don't see and hear consciously, but it seeps in because your brain will still catch it, and you move based on your subconscious more than your conscious. This is why when you watch movies and you know it's a fake movie, you know that person isn't really dying, but they put that music on, they hit the right camera angles and lightings, and you still feel some kind of way. This is what I say about those who try to say that, hey, the sexy reds and all this and that. Hey, if you're a good parent, you don't have to worry about it. That's a lie. Music will seep into your subconscious regardless. If that wasn't true, then explain how they use music to sell us products and it works and we're grown. If it wasn't true, explain how people get sad when they watch movies that they know is fiction, because your mind, your subconscious, doesn't know the difference between reality and reality. Similar to your dreams. Your dreams are subconscious. They're not real. But if you have a certain type of dream, you're going to wake up feeling that way. Your brain doesn't know when it watches a movie that is not real. Your subconscious doesn't know that. There's a reason why people put on certain kind of music to set certain kinds of moods. So if adults could be affected by that, how the hell would children not be? Yeah, you have a responsibility as a parent to teach your children how to critically analyze and critically think, and to teach them a value system that coincides with what you feel. But at the end of the day, they're still going to be influenced by outside factors. So them purposely pushing and planting certain type of people in front of us. They do this with media. They do this in entertainment. They do this with the music. They do this across the board. And this is a deliberate effort to dumb down the youth. Because if you have dumb youth, if you have ratchet youth, they're not going to fight for justice. And they're going to monetize the prison system and just be consumers. And all of those things are going to keep white supremacy strong. That's why they had to get rid of the public enemies. That's why they had to get rid of the KRS-Ones. That's why they have to mute the voices of the Farrakhan's. That's why they went from putting Malcolm X on TV, having him debate scholars, Khalid Muhammad the same, but when they realized that their scholars couldn't touch him, you ain't seen them do that anymore. The last time you seen like a real revolutionary on TV, on mainstream TV, was Khalid Muhammad when he used to battle Donahue and Sean Hannity and them. And he so flawlessly executed them that now they only put fake niggas in front, controlled opposition. And they do the same with the rap game. They make sure that they only elevate certain actors for the most part, certain people that they give a microphone to who they know is going to speak greasy about us, or that's going to be tiptoeing and soft shoeing. They do that on purpose. Hip hop is influential. In a rap battle between two lyricists who don't speak the ratchet shit, who's just going to go back bar for bar sparring, would have been a good thing for hip hop because it would have raised the bar. It would have highlighted true skills without the detrimental shit. And it would have outshined what's currently being promoted by the industries. But shout out to J. Cole, shout out to K. Dot. I wanted to see the battle. Anyway, I'm out, y'all. Peace.